Buddy, you're a team on the rise, sharing knowledge every day, preserving wisdom in the cloud, never letting it fade away. You got insights on your mind, big plans for the crew. Sensei's gonna capture it all someday. Sensei you. We will Sensei you. Buddy, you're a new high, feeling lost, asking questions in the hall. Chatbot's got the answers now, lifting you up tall. You got handovers in your hand, fast ramp up coming through. Sensei's gonna empower you someday. We will Sensei you. We will Sensei you. We will Sensei you. We will Sensei you. Feel the peace, the joy, the fire. On my lost just grows, we know. Buddy, you're a leader, saving costs, boosting efficiency high. Knowledge base is locked and secure under the endless sky. You got the world in your grasp, the emotions running true. Sensei's adding value all someday. We will Sensei you. 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 Sing it out. Buddy, you're a team on the rise, sharing knowledge every day, preserving wisdom in the cloud, never letting it fade away.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's Sensay Community Call. I am Dan Thompson, the CEO and founder of Sensay, and today we've got some pretty exciting updates to give you, a big teaser, and we're going to be going through the recent hackathon winners as well. For those who are new to Sensay, welcome. This is our weekly community call, where we get a chance to sort of give you the updates as well as answer your burning questions. So if you do have any questions for us at all, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever you might be watching, if you're watching live, if you leave a comment, we will be able to see it and we'll pull up the questions at the end. There are some small prizes for the questions that we bring up, so please do make sure that you ask some good quality questions for us. Today, for anyone who's new joining for Sensay, Sensay builds some of the world's most advanced and personalized chatbots. This can help for customer service, support, sales, as well as just any kind of any hyper-personalized chatbot that you might want, whether that's for your Telegram group, Discord channel, WhatsApp, or for your website. What that means is that having something that's hyper-personalized as a way of adding additional personality. So it's not just like your usual standard chatbots. It's almost like creating virtual humans. And that's our long-term goal, is to actually build out these incredible lifelike virtual humans that can interact with people and interact with the world as if they are you. So today we're going to actually kick off with bringing up a couple of our team members who are joining us today for today's community call. We have Michele and Lars joining us. So we'll do a couple of quick introductions before we crack on with today's call. Michele.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Lars. I'm Michele. I lead the API team as well as the studio and the AI components that interact with that. So my usual day is about figuring out how to create the best developer experiences for our community, for our customers, and making sure that everything runs smoothly.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah, it's great to see you. I'm here with you all every single day, well, mostly in chat, sharing coffee photos and everything, and awaiting my personal little Saint Saint to join the family here in December. But that's still a little while out. We're all looking forward for that. One day you will see me on live stream with a brand new Sensei. Hope you're all well.
Don't know how a baby. What do they say? Don't work with children and animals. So having a baby on our calls probably won't be the worst thing that's ever happened to one of these. So look, today we're going to start off with a bit of a recap on our recent hackathon. We do these hackathons quite regularly to encourage different people to build on top of our API, to enable any builders and entrepreneurs the opportunity to actually build out any of the variety of different use cases for the technology that we've actually built as a stack on top of what we call our wisdom engine. We recently actually went through the Sensay Connect hackathon, which was in partnership with the NED, and I'm just going to bring up the blog post that went out today, which details not only the winners but also some of the judging criteria for it. So we actually announced a couple of weeks ago the first place was Harenov, and then we've got RealityBot in the third place as well as Vetha. Now you'll be able to see some of these, and in here you've also got some of the reasons that they were selected. So feel free to check out our blog at blog.sensay.io to understand a bit more about the different projects that won and why. But to give us a little bit more detail on that, we have Michele, who was part of our judging panel and team who spoke at the NED for this event. Maybe give us a bit of background about what we were actually what goes into the hackathon, how people usually get involved, and how we pick winners.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hackathons really, as you said, Dan, are there to make sure that everyone can use our platform and identify new use cases, and by hacking, explore and validate different kind of products. So during a hackathon, what we do is provide technical support, both in terms of setting up, but also listening to any feedback, any feature requests that might come from our community, and consider to include that in our API, or at least brainstorm how to overcome and find solutions to the problem. So this time, I think it was quite interesting because there was definitely groups of solutions, groups of submissions in terms of the solutions that we're finding to real problems, and there was a not so big cluster that I think nailed one problem really well. AI has been changing over the last few months or the last few years, and one of the key things of the last few months is that there is more and more attention to real problems. The winner, Herainov, I think really nailed this. They didn't invent something completely out of the box, but they created a solid integration with existing tools that solved the real problem. Something that is actually quite unique in today's AI world, because for such a long time there was a lot of interest in the latest new thing. Now I think the market is a little bit going, okay, but what can we actually solve with all the tools that we are creating? There's a lot still that needs to be invented, but there is also more attention to solving real problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great way of us actually kind of battle testing our API as well, right? For different use cases. So we can quickly find out bugs and get, a quick sort of feedback loop to actually, check that our tech is working as it should do. But I think there was some concerns, right, Lars, about how the judging criteria was there, and why obviously people were upset if they didn't quite win. I don't know if there was any particular cases. I remember we had a couple of key tracks, right? We had e-commerce, real estate, and I think it was sort of connection and membership. And I think there was the one I remember was like a chatbot around cooking recipes and stuff like that. And so I think a few were kind of disqualified right from the start for being completely off track, despite being quite built.
Absolutely. I can be quite transparent on the judging process. I mean, everything is on the Dora Hacks website. It's stated quite clearly. But for transparency, the way it works is that we have a first batch of judgment, which just make sure that you cross the correct ticks. So your submission has to fit one of the tracks. If it doesn't fit, and if it's a good submission, we look very closely to see if it actually does relate to one of the tracks. Maybe you selected the wrong track, but if it doesn't, unfortunately, we need to exclude because the rules are the same for everyone. And another key thing is that it actually has to use the Sensay API. This is obviously important. You cannot just create a hack around an idea, but do not validate that actually it is possible to solve it because you are maybe just mocking all of the data. So my suggestion is make sure that you're solving a real problem. This helps, that the problem is related to a track, and also that you're actually using the Sensay API. Maybe focus first on these things, focus on ticking the right checks, and then focus on creating an even better presentation and UI UX.
Yeah, this is actually something I think this is probably true in most competitions around the world. You have to kind of understand what the people who are sponsoring the competition or creating the competition are looking for. So in our case, for us, we'd love to see some projects go on to build on top of our API and be successful. But we have to understand that for us, it is, we've identified a couple of tracks for reasons that, we would like to explore and see people succeed in those different routes to market. But at the same time, it is for us to understand that people, how our API can be used and how developers will use it, which helps us to improve. So yeah, you're right. So for example, if someone's not going to use the API and kind of circumnavigate that, then it's kind of like, they might have the best product, the best build that we might have seen. But if it's not using the technology that we've stated and we want to test out, then obviously it can't be a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just reminded me that other things that typical reasons to be excluded are just not submitting all of the correct things in the form. For example, you need to submit the source code. Otherwise, we cannot verify that you are actually using the API, but also that you actually created your solution. So making sure just that all the fields are filled in correctly with the presentation, at least, or a live version of your website. Another issue that I sometimes find, and I remember there was a really good submission this time, but unfortunately the video was not working, and the live URL was also not working. It was just giving not deployed error, something like that. So just make sure that everything works on the day that you submit, and it stays working for at least a while until the winners are, and I would suggest even for a bit longer, especially if you're on the winning side of the league. But yeah, making sure that it keeps working for a while.
Yeah, and I think even our rules and regulations weren't particularly strict. I think there was only really like 5 to 10 criteria to follow. So it's not like it's like completely nuanced and small things. But if people still just kind of ignore those kind of key rules and what we're actually looking for, then people can't really be upset for not getting in the top 5, top 3, top 1. So look, we were hoping to have Hiranov join us today. I think they're having a bit of technical difficulties in joining the stream. So hopefully we can actually pull up the demo of the product.
I can share a few things just for you to have an idea, and I think that what you can see here is their solution. This is the demo that they created and that they used actually during the submission at Dora Hacks. So we see obviously a well-curated UI. This is always nice to have. But I think the main things that are important here is that there is a good understanding of how our API entities work. So they are creating the correct entities that map their needs for the problem. So this is quite key. Remember, you can give us feedback and ask for new features, but also if you need to create a product. So understanding very well how to map the problem that you have with the API that we offer is one of the key things, in my opinion, to successfully create a solution. Another thing that they did really good was the integration with HubSpot. HubSpot is not something that we integrate. This was completely new. So they built it from scratch. And by why HubSpot? Because they identified that for their target users, they were using HubSpot and they had already a lot of knowledge saved in that tool. So they created integration, and also they connected that with our knowledge base system, which you see mentioned in the lower part of the screen. So they were able to move all of the knowledge that is present in HubSpot into our API, and therefore make use of that in their product. And I'll go a little bit quickly, but they then created bots. They correctly verified that the knowledge was ingested correctly, not just by giving us the data, but also using the functionalities we provide to verify that the content was understood correctly by our system. This is also quite important, in my opinion, because it means that the quality is ensured. We can provide an API that is as easy as possible to be used, but if you take the extra step to make sure that the quality bar is quite high, that's obviously very good for your customers and therefore also for us. And then this other thing that they did was majority of the solutions integrate with websites. They took it a step further and they integrated with Telegram. Telegram, because this provides a great user experience on your mobile without having to reinvent the wheel. And so, yeah, this kind of little solution, but very laser focus on a specific problem with one specific feature, instead of having a lot of problems trying to be solved and a lot of features trying to solve those problems, was really clean and a very good example of solving a problem with our API, adding just the right amount of extra features that are not provided by us already.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't come and demo, but it really was a solid build. And as you say, it ticks all the boxes in terms of what we were kind of looking for, both in terms of the explicit regulations, but also in terms of some of the sort of reading between the lines, in terms of like looking for different ways of doing things, different applications of the technology, and different integrations that we don't have. So it helps us to improve because it means that we can actually pass on that feedback back to our team, and actually gives us new ideas on what we can build and how we can build it. So thank you very much for that, Michele. Thank you for going and being a wonderful host at the Ned when I was unfortunately away, and yeah, thanks for showing Hero of, and hopefully we'll be able to get them to do a little recording for us separately as well, and we'll share that with the community later on.
That was that was a pleasure, and thank you to the whole community for all their submissions. For me, being on this other side is always so interesting to see how you use our API. So thank you.
We don't currently have plans for a new hackathon, but I'm sure there'll be one at some point in the coming months. So keep an eye out for that. If anyone is interested in building on top of Sensay Tech, looking at integrating with us, or has an idea of what they could build on top of our API and this chatbot technology, please do reach out. We'll be happy to support and look into it with you. All right, let's bring Lars back up. All right, hi Lars. What has been going on recently?
What has not been going on? We have a lot of questions always, especially as you talked about how we characterize the categorization that you just went through, Michele, with the hackathon. A lot of questions on that. And of course, last week we had game night and raid night 2 in 1 week. So it was a lot of fun. We went trending again on the second spot. We tried to get the first spot, but they had 13,000 points. And that was over like a longer period of time. So I had a feeling that was a meme token that just launched. And tomorrow we are gonna have another raid night coming up again, as we are starting to do them weekly, as we see how much it actually started to come in as well.
Awesome. So yeah, over the last couple of weeks, we've had quite a few different updates ever since the showcase last month. We've had a very, very busy month. Lots of things being built, mostly up towards our upcoming launch in Web Summit in 2 weeks' time. So we have on the 10th of November is the next big date to watch out for. We've got some huge updates and huge announcements and product releases coming out then. But over the last couple of weeks, it's been Tech Week. It's been Tech Week in San Francisco, LA, Mexico Tech Week. We've been getting involved and keeping our ears to the ground of all the latest developments, both in AI technology, chatbots, and HR tech as well. We've been pretty much bouncing around. If you've been following our social media, you've been seeing some of the different events we've been attending over the last couple of weeks. We've been speaking about HR tech in Poland last week. We've been hosting events in Mexico Tech Week, and in the next couple of weeks we've got quite a few other events coming up. Everything from Web Summits in Lisbon from the 10th of November, and then followed by Dev Connect in Buenos Aires, and Knowledge Management World in Washington DC. So we've got a very, very full sort of event schedule to run out the rest of the year. We've got some huge product announcements coming up. We're extremely excited for some really great updates in terms of the overall product and what we're doing, and the team has been just pushing stuff out left, right, and center. We've got some big sort of end of year marketing campaigns coming up. There'll be a Christmas campaign for the community to get involved, earn points and Sensay tokens, as well as some big marketing pushes around this new product launch, which will also help to promote the token and essentially grow the community as we go. We've got a few great new partnerships coming up, but basically we can't really give too much away at this point, is what I'm trying to say. They've got loads of really cool stuff coming up, but we can only really talk about what we really achieved in the last few months, which we covered most of that in the showcase and the blog that came after that. So if you haven't seen that recently, do check it out. I guess we can probably start with some questions a bit early today. We've been getting loads of questions, so thank you very much for submitting questions. Again, if you are watching live on LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, if you leave a comment with a question, we can actually get around to answering it. So please do send in any good questions that you have, and we'll get to them now. So maybe let's pull up a first one.
So PowerChain, why org ID is needed in API markets? Things really complex. Also, when the API dashboard.
Okay, I guess I can answer that. I'll keep it brief because I don't know how many we have like technical people in the audience, but it's for historical reasons. And the reason why we have the organization concept in our API is because historically we wanted to keep completely separate. It's a technical concept called multi-tenancy. But we heard a lot of feedback that while this is very useful in some circumstances, it makes things a little bit more complicated in other circumstances. So we are simplifying that and also answering the question on API dashboard. We are actually working today. My team is working on that. So we are every day making a step forward to both getting rid of at least partially the concept of organization ID to simplify it, and to create a dashboard where you can handle and manage your API keys. So yeah, stay tuned on the studio. Will let you do all of these things very soon.
Awesome. All right, next question, please.
So from YouTube, we have Dex Act. What was the song at the beginning? It seems completely different.
So we have a mystery man behind the scenes called Kevin, who organizes quite a lot of things for us on the marketing front, including is our stream master and our song master, and every so often we change up the song. I particularly like this one. It felt a bit like Queen, kind of a bit like We Will Rock You type thing, or Don't Stop Me Now. But yes, the song changes every few months. And so this is the latest one. I'm sure we'll play it again next week. So keep your ears out. But it definitely had me dancing and singing along from here. And the funny thing is, I never get to see them before these come out. So it's always a bit of a shock and a surprise, and usually quite funny when it comes out. But Sensay album is coming to Spotify very soon. I think we've probably got about 10 songs at this point.
Yeah, I think it's about time that we start having a song list, because we have so many asking for them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas is coming up. The Christmas one last year was great. I'm super excited to see what we get for Christmas this year.
I already forgot it. I think he has to play it today.
I mean, which do we know which AI we use to create the songs? Maybe Kevin will type it to us quickly. I know it's a big mystery. So if you guys want to go and create your own songs, the software is called Suno, Suno. So go Suno AI. So go and have a play, create your own songs, and you too can have a Sensay song. Maybe we'll run a quest to come up with the next best Sensay song.
Or all the songs we have to listen through, I can only imagine.
Yeah. All right. Let's put another question.
So film 3, how has the product vision changed in the last 2 years, as AI is now much more advanced than it used to be? Do you still believe in chatbots as the best way to interact with AI?
That's a very good question, actually. So overall, our vision for the long term is to build out these virtual humans, and I think that's still the same. We still like to build out, in the long term, digital clones of people and have them interact. And the reality is, the way we interact with each other is by talking. So at the end of the day, yes, in a way, I think that the way that we interact on a human level is still very much conversationally based. Obviously, there are different ways of communicating as well, but fundamentally, I think it's definitely going to be the way for the near future. Maybe with advanced technology, brain implants and brain scanners that just go into your ear like an AirPod. In the future, maybe they'll become a simpler, faster, quicker way that we communicate with each other and with AI. But for now, I think chatbots, have been proven. I mean, the fact that people use it in such a wide variety of use cases and have adopted it so quickly and easily just shows that that's probably the best interface for this. Whether that will evolve into video interfaces or direct sort of brain interfaces, who knows? But for now, usually adoption wins. So if people are happy using things like ChatGPT in a conversational format, then that's probably the way it's going to be. So chatbots probably will be the way forward. I don't know, Michele, I don't know if you've got any other thoughts on that.
I think you covered the high level very well. I think that in general, as I was saying earlier, the market is moving towards actual solutions, and we are taking a more down-to-earth approach to what can we actually do with all of this technology that we developed. And I think we are both going with the market with that because you're responding to that. But I think that it's also important for companies like Sensay to really stay true to their vision, which we are also doing. So we are putting together the vision with the practical aspect.
Yeah, I think in the future the AI is getting smarter already, right? It's able to perform more actions. It's able to do things quicker and better for you. But the fundamental human interface to give it the command to tell it what to do is probably still going to be a chatbot. The only thing is the AI is going to be smarter and better at understanding what it is that you actually want, and then more capable of actually actioning those tasks on the back end and maybe around it. But I think the fundamental interface will still be chatbots and still be natural language. All right, next, let's put up another question.
So we have here, is Sensay's API currently open for third-party developers or still in private access?
The API has been open for third-party developers for a while now, and yeah, we are in general availability. So our API is stable. We put a lot of effort into making sure we are not releasing breaking changes without providing migration windows. So if you are a third-party developer and you want to use our API, please do so. You just need to open up a plan and get in touch with us, or very soon just use the dashboard so that you can just get going. If you're interested, you can have a look at docs.sensay.io. There's even a getting started and a sample application you can use very easily.
Yeah, guys, and if you are interested as a builder, as an entrepreneur, our team's always available to, help you through developing out the idea, and also, give you some advice on how to use the API to, get the most out of it. Thanks for the question. Hi, my name is Daniel. Good name. Have we got another question?
I think he's scouring the whole list right now because there's
Yeah, we got hundreds of
many
questions today.
questions at all.
No, hundreds of questions, but lots of people asking multiple questions, which is great.
Yeah. So Block X, what are your thoughts on robots launched recently? Would love to integrate my Sensay replica with robots to make it more personalized.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I saw the announcement when I woke up this morning about what is it? It's not OKX. It's like 1XK or something like that. The new robot for the house, Neo 1X. That's the one. Yeah. So the Neo 1X. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the advert for it, but it looks like a person is walking around inside a costume. It's pretty cool. Look, when it comes to the robotics and technology, fundamentally, it's going to be a necessity for the future. In a lot of the Western world, particularly in South Korea, Japan, we've got a huge aging population where they just don't have the birth rates at the lower level to sustain it in the long term. We're going to have older and older people who live longer and longer without younger people coming through to pick up the work. And so this is really where a combination of robotics and virtual humans and the ability to give personality to these robots is really going to come in, because the robots will be fun, they'll be novel to start off with, but people will get pretty bored of the generic responses that most of these robots will have pretty quickly. And we all know from the last 40, 50 years that personalization of products goes really, really well. So I'm not saying that you necessarily want a robot that's acting like your great grandmother walking around your house, which might be a bit creepy and a bit weird. But you might actually want to give it that sort of personalization, which fundamentally is what Sensay has been building for a while. So when it comes to these advanced robots that can actually help support this old generation, help around the house, help to take up some of the things that we don't like to do ourselves and would love to have some support doing, combine that with some personality for interaction, suddenly you actually have really a fundamentally great product that people will adopt and actually really enjoy having around. What that means for the future of us as a civilization, who knows? Because fundamentally the AI might be friendlier, might be nicer, might be better conversationalists. Everything else might be. I'm sure in no time they'll be used as sex robots. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to be used for a huge variety of different things that may change the way that we interact with each other. But who knows? I guess we're going to find out very soon as it starts to get adopted. But I think it's great that these robots coming out, and we hope that in the future, via aspects of our technology like our API and via the chatbots that we create, that they could be integrated into these robotics and give them that personality that we need. So great question. Love talking about that kind of stuff. So thank you very much. What's the next one or two more questions, I think?
So Web3 mail comes in. Are there any token burn or buybacks coming? we need it desperately. I don't know the word desperately. I'm never
Yeah, we don't. We're never
desperate.
desperate. Web3 mail. Look, this is a bit of a myth that's sat around in crypto for a long time, right? Certain meme coins and shit coins from the last, I guess, 4 years now. So back in 2020 and 2021 were when buyback and burns really had an effect, and to some extent some of the meme coins in recent years. The difference is when you have serious projects and serious tokenomics and real sort of future and actually continuous build. Ponzi tokenomics or Ponzinomics don't really work as much because we don't have, we're using the cash to build. So there's not really the cash there to, buy back the tokens directly. We're using we don't need to burn the tokens because we actually have a planned use for them and what they can be used for with a set distribution and a set allocation for them. So again, they don't need to be bought back. But and even in recent markets, anything over, some of the smaller projects, buyback and burn simply just don't do anything for it. No, that's not always the case. Sometimes they can. Sometimes it can be part of a bigger marketing strategy. But we prefer to keep building. We're working on some incredible products that should that really will start driving significant revenue, and a portion of that will go into buying back the token to, in the long term, buy back up all the supply and eliminate it altogether. But that will come from sensible business use cases as and when needed and as and when possible, not for the sake of pushing up the token price by 1% arbitrarily. So yeah, that's why we don't do buyback and burns. Okay, I think we've got a couple of quick questions, and then we'll wrap up for the day.
Well, there is a lot of questions coming through, so let's see what he brings up for us this time. So, Dan Scheller, how does Sensay's API simplify connecting internal systems like Slack or Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, I can go with this. We've got it's a good question, and it's a question that I ask myself, the team, and the product team every now and then, because there are different ways we can do this. At the moment, we've got two ways. We can everyone can integrate with Slack, Microsoft Teams, etc. So we've got deep integrations already made for you. They're available open source, and they use dedicated endpoints on our API to make your life even easier. So an example for that is Telegram. If you go to our GitHub, you find an implementation, an open source implementation for a bot connector that uses our API. We are also exploring a more generic way to integrate with any kind of third party. So even if you want to integrate with something that is not already integrated by us, for example, Microsoft Teams, you could do that today. And proof is that some of the hackathon submissions do that. They have their own limitations because we don't provide a fully customized experience already for that. So you need to implement some of the bits that are missing. However, we are working right now to create additional endpoints that would provide you with the extra functionalities for any kind of platform. So we'll see exactly how that shapes up. But yeah, the answer is you can already do that. There are already some integrations available out of the box. You can create your own integration, taking from inspiration from the existing ones. And in the future, it's going to be even easier.
Well, thank you. That's actually a very lovely explanation and simplified.
Thanks.
All right, I think we've got time for one quick last one.
There we go. Ali, come in. Does Sensay envision a future AI to AI economy where replicas can transact, negotiate, collaborate autonomously using Sensay as a native currency? And if so, what consensus or ethical constraints govern?
Michaela, I'll let you have a tackle with that one first, and then I'll jump in with my thoughts. That's a good one.
Let me read that again.
So maybe
So
I'll
it's a
jump in.
very deep one, yeah.
No, it's great. I mean, this is where the sort of confluence of Web3 and AI come together, right? So in a future where AI, fundamentally will use blockchain technology to interact with one another, both for messaging and for transactions of actual passing things on, either guided by their purpose or by directly acting on behalf of a human. But yes, AI to AI, both just standard AI to AI will become interoperable, as well as things like the chatbots and actually enabling some virtual humans that we hope to build one day, being able to actually talk to one another, interact, and actually act on our behalf autonomously. So yeah, fundamentally that is going to be the future. In the ideal world, that all goes very, very well, and we can all sit on beaches and drink cocktails and have a great time, and everything else will be taken care of by the AI. Obviously, there's a lot of negative views on that, and also people who might not want to let go of the internet. They might want to still be connected and everything else. So it will be an interesting way. I'm not so worried about the AI growth and adoption and what happens with it and the capabilities of it. I'm more worried about what people will do as a reaction and how they will actually, react to it. Because
We might have
And
lost Dan.
you believe, and
He's back.
You lose me there for a second. Yeah, I was saying we're already getting to a stage of the internet where you can't believe anything you see or hear or read on the internet. So we're moving towards dead internet theory, where most of the content and most of the internet will be generated by AI. Now, the question really becomes: will people at that point completely ignore the fact that it's all fake, because the analytics will the algorithms analytics will basically put the content that they consume quicker to them, or will they realize that it's all fake and switch off and go and value person-to-person connections more? I think it's going to be more of like a psychological experiment more than a scientific experiment as to how humans actually react to the new paradigm and what the internet will become. AI to AI will definitely have that interaction. What they will then do with themselves, I mean, it's anyone's guess. There's plenty of science fiction out there around different concepts of transcendence and what AI can achieve without humans sort of having to oversee them. But it'll be an interesting future for sure. Sorry, I went very philosophical and sci-fi on that one, so I don't know if you guys have any extra thoughts.
My practical mind goes to the question: well, what kind of problem can be solved by having AI talking to AI? And I guess that there are some problems that maybe have the kind of approach come in handy. I think we will see. But yeah, I am curious about that line of thinking. So what are we? I see that as a strategy to solve a problem. The question is, what is the problem? And I don't have an answer to that. I probably there's many. Yeah.
Maybe the AI will have the answer for it all, and maybe the big question of what is the meaning of life, and hopefully it doesn't have. Hopefully it comes out with something more useful than the number 42.
Come on, that's the best answer ever. Unless you make an autonomous planet with 2 mice to actually figure out the real answer.
Yeah, well, now I want to go rewatch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So, guys, thank you for joining today. Thank you for everyone who's watching, either live or recording. Really appreciate your support. We'll follow up with any of the questions that were asked. We'll reach out to you on messages. Or do we need to get them to send something to you with a screenshot? Is that how we?
Yes. So the winners from YouTube, please send an email to Lars@sensay.io. On X, please send a message directly to our X account, and I will look into the messages and also check the profile legitimacy. As you know, people change profile pictures, funny enough.
Yeah, that was it. And guys, if you're interested in following up, join us on any of our social channels and community channels at Ask Sensay. is the handle, and you can find us on pretty much every channel with that. Or myself at Sensay Dan. Feel free to reach out anytime, join the community. I'm always happy to get involved and answer any questions. But if not, thank you for joining this week, and we will see you next week for another quick update. And then the week after will be the big announcement. So keep your eyes peeled and get ready for that. We'll have loads of activities and competitions around that. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to earn Sensay tokens, get involved with us, and help support the project even more. So thank you for joining today, and we hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
What if your website didn't just look the part, but spoke the part too? Meet the Sensay AI chatbot, powered by AI agents to deliver a fine-tuned, human-like experience to all of your customers. Trained on your company's data and tone, so every visitor gets a personal welcome from the people behind the company. Your best salesperson, on call 24/7. Your founder, greeting visitors at scale. Your brand, coming to life one conversation at a time. Forget "how can I help you" and robotic replies. This is AI with personality, memory, charm. It is a conversation.
Sensay AI chatbots, built to sound like your best self, ready to